I have never had a best friend.
And that felt really sad.
Man, I just
when you said
I
that
want
way.
to cry.
I have never had a best friend.
Friends are friends forever.
I
for
really
so
have
long.
to pursue Erin. I'm like, be my friend. Be my friend.
I always end calls with, love ya, bye.
I don't like that at all. Do you say that you have a best friend?
Best friends. Like I feel like
Friends.
Duh.
like
One.
the Lord said he rested and ate. And I'm like, we laugh when we say that, but it's like how true
I mean, a
is it?
toddler, you know when they're not okay, it's probably they're hungry or they're tired.
And we're just
we're
all big
toddlers.
toddlers.
Basically.
We are big toddlers.
And so it's okay to be lonely, and it's okay to just know that it's for a season.
Welcome back to Mom Pod. We are back again. Nope.
That sounded so good.
Welcome back. We're back.
Back. We want to welcome you back to Mom Pod. We are here again today, and thank you for tuning in with us. Today, we're going to be talking about friendships, inner circles, just relationships in our lives. We're going to just throw it all out there, lay it all out on the table. I hope you enjoy it. So here we are.
Here we are. Here we
love
go. I feel like you guys are really good at finding friends, right? Yes.
Sometimes. Don't you all think of the 1990s song? How did it go?
Sing it.
And friends are friends forever if the Lord's the Lord.
I don't like that song.
I don't think I've heard that
It
song.
kind of makes me uncomfortable when I hear that song.
It's a good one. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I think like you guys are all really tight knit. I really admire your friend circle, and so just as like a mom that's still in her, I'm in my mid-20s. I have probably a small, on one hand, I can count how many friends I have. And so I just would love to know from you guys, like, what do you look for when you're finding friends? What do you look for in your circle? Help a girl out.
That's a great question.
I would say, I don't think you're ever looking for a big circle of friends. I think that having a smaller circle and having like interests, things in common, like us three, we have so much in common. But I think you're looking for people that you can trust, and that can be really hard to come by.
That's good.
Takes a long time.
A long time.
Like,
And I think that's what can be intimidating about
yeah.
going and seeking friendships or
Yeah.
putting yourself out there and then maybe having it not click.
Like in school, like, you have your friends in elementary and middle school and high school, and it's usually because you're with them all, like every day, all day, or you same classes, or you're on the same team with them. And then you graduate, and then we all find new seasons of life. Maybe you become a mom or you get married or whatever, and it immediately segregates you. And so the people that you're with all the time start to change and shift. And so you're like, how do I make friends? I think of you, Rachel, with the inner circle, like you're talking about a small circle, Sarah. I'm like, yes, the smaller the better, please. It just feels safer to me. But I feel like you have become such a good friend to me because you've like chiseled away at that inner circle
I
for
really
so
have
long.
to pursue Erin.
Yeah.
I'm like, be my friend. Be my friend, please.
Share with me.
I've
I'm
had
like,
to
not
pursue
today.
you so much.
Yeah.
What I love, what I look for, honestly, to kind of answer your question, in my closest knit circle, for me to feel safe, is loyalty. When you look at all the different qualities that you can have in a friendship, and where maybe I feel like I'm at in my phase of life, where I'm like, I'm so busy, I don't have the time or capacity to have a lot of friends, but the ones that I do have, I have to know that they are loyal through and through. And that means everything to me, because I'm like, if they're loyal, it's everything.
Or that you can just pick up where you left off. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't talk to said friend for a week or two, are they going to be offended by that? Are they going to be, have hurt feelings like you haven't, whatever? But people that you can just pick up and go wherever you left off. Like, I just visited with a friend. She's my best friend in high school. I have not seen her in 10 years. We don't keep in touch very often, but literally I spent an entire day with her, and it was like no time had passed. That's cool. Whatsoever.
That's good.
Because she probably didn't put that pressure on you.
No.
Where you been? How come? I'm
Yeah.
hurt. You didn't reach out. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, you didn't reach out either.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Because I think that's so much of it. Like, I think the number one, like, truly strategy that the enemy can use for us as women,
Yeah.
when we think about comparison and we think
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
is it's isolation. And like, I don't know. I feel like 2020, honestly, COVID did that for so many women. Like, I don't have friends, I don't have friends. And we were instantly like isolated and the enemy was strategically attacking. And I feel like you have to become a pursuer.
Yeah.
And, you talk to people and it's like, well, how do I find great friends? You have to
You have to
pursue.
put yourself out there.
That's good.
And that is hard, but you have to say, I'm going to be a good friend. I'm going to make the phone call. I'm going to go, watch the XYZ soccer game. I'm going to, you have to be willing to pursue. And it takes time, but it's worth it.
And everything that you said happens outside of social media.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy for us to like look at our number of friends on social media, or I can keep in touch with so-and-so because you're just seeing what they're posting from a filter versus like us going to coffee together, grabbing pizza and no makeup and no, it wasn't a good day and you're not just trying to fake it. Like all those things take time outside of, I don't know. I have in the past fallen into this trap of like, oh yeah, we're still good friends, but it's the last time I talked to her, I couldn't even tell you, but I was just following her life on social media, what she wanted to post. I don't really know what was going on in her life. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Another good way you can tell when you have a good friend is I was literally going to an event this weekend and I texted Erin and I was like, hey, this is what I'm wearing. Is this good to go to the event I'm going? And she's like, no.
Hold on. Wait. No. First of all, Rachel started it with be honest. So I already knew that she kind of had an opinion about what she was about to ask me. Then she sent me a photo. Maybe, if you were already questioning it, she sent me a photo
of me in the outfit. And she's like,
I don't even remember what I said, but I could tell you weren't quite feeling it.
I wasn't, but you knew me well enough to be like, hey, you would feel a lot more comfortable.
You asked her to be honest.
If you were more dressed up, because we all know it's way better to be overdressed than underdressed,
Yep,
right?
Rachel's taught us that.
To an event. And so you were a good friend to tell me.
Are you glad you changed?
Your
I don't think
clothes.
I asked you that. Are you glad you changed?
Yes, I was. So thanks. There we go. I didn't look like a weirdo at the event.
It was a cute outfit. Your original outfit was cute for the day you had been spending.
But
where you
Where she was going.
Sweating weather. Anyway. Next question.
No, I know for me, I just think like even just being a mom of like a little, I've had to be okay with like the nature of my friendships changing and that like time together is sometimes unconventional. And so sometimes it doesn't look like me and my friend going out to coffee or me and my friend going out to lunch. Sometimes it looks like me and my friend FaceTiming for an hour because my kid's in bed and he's not gonna, I can't go out. Or it's her, she just kind of meets me where I am. And I think that that's what's kind of kept that closeness for a period of time. But then even also, I think that some of my relationships are just seasonal, like having just mom friends that like you like their kids like your kids, you're hanging out. I literally, one of the best conversations that I ever had with a mom was just a mom that I met at the park. Like it was so random, but we were there for probably 45 minutes. And we just were able to talk about family. We were able to talk about the Lord. And it just was like really unexpected because I think that I'm definitely someone who's maybe like a little bit more closed when it comes to relationships. And it just was very surprising how like the Lord just brings people to whatever your season is. So I guess like for you guys, do you feel like you've had like a similar experience where maybe you weren't looking for a friend, but you found one in an unexpected place?
That's really good. That's good.
That's good.
Being spontaneous too. I think not everything has to be planned out. I'm better if somebody kind of calls me last minute, like, "Hey, what are you doing today?" Or "What are you doing right now? Can I just come over?" Like that kind of works better for me too. But
no, absolutely.
what was your question?
Like, have you guys found that you have made friends like in unexpected places or seasons when you maybe weren't looking for them?
Absolutely. I think Marcus and I were on the board of something, and I ended up meeting. I guess she's probably your age, Savannah, maybe a little bit older, and she was there with her baby, and I instantly connected with her. And it was somebody that I don't think that we're not in the same life season whatsoever. Maybe part of that was just me knowing she had a baby and she was, in a strange place, and I just jump in like that.
You're good like that. Yeah.
But we've kept in contact and things that she's gone through, she's called me about, but I never would have expected to have that relationship. But had I not been at that conference, I never would have met her. And
That's cool.
yeah,
Sounds like it was
and it's
easy.
really special, super easy.
That's cool.
Super easy, even though we are not even in the same age bracket.
Yeah.
I just found it really surprising.
That's awesome. I just think in life too, like sometimes you can't describe it when there's just natural chemistry with people and dynamics and circles, you know. And to me, I've learned is like lean into that, you know. And like spontaneous friendships for me, I really do realize, just like you said, going to the park. I remember growing up, my mom and dad's closest friends were the ones that were sitting at all these games.
Right.
And then they chose to lean into that because they're like, our kids are doing all these things together. And then it was beautiful because then they would all take trips together.
Yeah,
and,
let's get together outside of this.
and like bring their whole, bring the whole family. And so that was cool. And I'm learning to try and do that better. Like if I'm already going somewhere or doing something, just, hey, I'm already doing this. Come with me and let's go talk while we do this. Or
You're so good at that.
No, you really are. You're so brave.
Brave is a great
Brave.
word. She's so brave is a great word. It's,
I feel like
Savannah's like, I'm not that brave.
I'm like, can you talk to me? You know, can you come talk to me? No, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be better. At least like a wave, you know, like a nod,
wave.
a wave or a
Hey.
nod. It's a step for me.
I like when you're driving in the car and your windows are up and you see like a neighbor and you're like,
Yeah,
but they can't hear you. And they can't see me either because my windows are tinted. But anyway, I don't.
Can you make that noise again? Yeah. No, but that's so true. Like for both of those things, one, it's easy. Like how many times have we tried to make a friendship work, and it's so hard. Like it's exhausting. Like
Yeah.
you're together and you leave and you're exhausted.
Well, it's just probably not your friendship.
Yeah, like it's a great acquaintance maybe, and they're a great person, but like
Be there, but
yeah. Yeah.
Well, and
they're
that's
probably
even
just not
like
going
a
to be your fun friend.
But that's even like a good question too, is obviously like when you're friends with people for like a long period of time, like the relationship tends to evolve. And so how do you maintain your friendships over time?
That's good.
So how do you know when it is the end of a season? How do you know when to just change meeting the needs of that person? Maybe your needs have changed. How do you even go at that? Because I think that's kind of been, I guess, the reason that a lot of my friendships have maybe ended is just ends of seasons. I've probably only had 3 friendships that have like stood the test of time, and that's just because we're okay to be honest about when things are just not working. And just saying like, hey, like I have a friend, she's probably the hardest to get a hold of and to spend time with, but she's really good about just putting that out there. Hey, I have all these things going on. I'm not ignoring you. I'm not trying to be any type of way. I'm just letting you know this is where I'm at. It has nothing to do with you. And I think that's the reason like we've survived.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what's going on? What are you doing? Like, do you not want to hang out? Do you not want to do this? And she's just really good about being transparent, I guess. And so I know that's been something really important for that relationship, but what have you guys found just as your friendships have evolved and changed? How do you maintain them?
I mean, Scripture talks about relationships as iron sharpens iron. So that's like both of us are helping each other, like get sharper, and grow and get better. And there are some seasons, Rachel, what do you think? There are some seasons when that iron, like it's working because you're in the same season of life, or 2 different seasons that are like helping each other. But then after a while, maybe that iron isn't sharpening your iron anymore. And it's not bad. That doesn't mean something is you don't mean it in a bad way. It was awesome for a season. It sharpened you to get where you're at now, or maybe her where she's at now. But then just being okay with asking yourself, like, is this relationship in this season adding to my life? Or is it taking me away from where I need to be in my life?
That's good.
At least those are just some questions I've had to ask. My husband's really good at helping. Jake's really good at helping me process that. He's my safe place where I can process. And sometimes he's the first to say, have you guys ever been somewhere with a bunch of women and you come home and he's like, you're like really negative right now. Was everyone that you were with? Like he'll notice that was like rubbing off on me. I didn't even notice it. Like how other women, like if you've ever been together and they're all complaining about their husbands, or they're all complaining about being a mom, or I love being a mom. I love being married to my best friend. And I want to be around people who feel that way too, and help me want to feel that way too.
Yeah,
that's good.
So good.
That's really good. I think another thing too with evolving friendships, and I tell you what, I learned this through Pastor Sarah, through our Heart Sisters study, was that as things are evolving or changing and you feel like something's off, the best thing to do with a friend is to call them.
Yeah.
We all know this, guys, but it's like how many times, probably even like in our friendships, where we've like read a text and
text and-
totally read
yeah.
it the wrong way, and we're like, oh,
Different-
what do they mean by this?
The tone. Yeah.
Yes.
How
And
did
I'm
they mean
like
that?
in ministry, even in the last couple months, I had a situation this week and I literally just called the person. I'm like, hey, I really think there was miscommunication here. I'm reading this text this way, but hey, really, what's on your heart?
Was that
And-
me? Was that when you texted me? You are good at that. I'm like thinking of the day and the time when you sent that to
Aaron's
me.
already,
this,
already
I'm like,
rehearsing, like,
pursue it.
would
Be
that
my
be me? Would that
friend.
situation be me?
No, but like I do feel like even just not being afraid to communicate. So if things are evolving, if things
Yeah.
are changing, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, we haven't hung out often, or hey, this has been on my heart, or this is bugging me. Like we just can't be afraid to have the hard conversations. And I think so many times as women we are.
Yeah.
And that's the enemy, you know? And just being okay to have a hard conversation. And then 99% of the time that's restored and oh, I didn't mean that, or I didn't, you know.
Corey is so good at picking up the phone because she is kind of like that long distance friend. She lives in a different state. You know, it's like, can you drive 45 minutes to me? Can I drive 45 minutes to you? But she's just so good at being like, what's going on? How can I encourage you? I'm thinking about you. But then, you know, my other friend, she's just so good at like just meeting me where I am because I'm in a season where I have kids and she doesn't. And so she's so good at pursuing me in this season. I'm not a good pursuer, and she's actually not either, but she is right now. And she'll just call me. She'll be like, hey, can I pick you up and we go for a drive? Hey, can I pick you up and we'll go swimming? Hey, can we go do this? Can I come over? I'm going to come sit in your living room. And like, it's not the most wow sort of time together, but it's time together, and she knows how important that is. And I think that's why we're so close. And so I just think, too, just taking inventory of like what seasons are your friends in right now. Have they had a new baby? Are they going through loss? Did they start a new job? What can you do to love on them in that season? Even if time is not available, I think goes a long way. I just think you have to get creative as a mom is what I'm finding, is that like it's not quantity as much as it is quality.
Absolutely.
What about toxic relationships? Have you had them, and how did you end them?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us, Pastor
Oh,
Sarah.
yeah.
You've really coached us through a few.
Yeah. I think I really thought this person was in my corner, a really good friend, a really close friend. And then I found out like years later that she just didn't like anything about everything in my life except me. Like she liked me. She didn't like anything else that was in my life. And I was shocked by that.
That hurts.
Extremely shocked by that. But I know that friendships they're not forever. Not every one of them. I do think that there's seasonal relationships, and some of that is because of toxic friendships, things that are not, you know, a friend should support you and love you no matter what, and encourage you. And when a friend stops being that, like you said, you get around the negative, ones that just want to talk bad, or, you know, that has to end. That has to end. If it's not adding to you, if it's not making your life better, it's a struggle. It's hard to pursue it. You don't feel good when you're in it. When you walk away, you don't feel good either. You know, that's just not a friendship that you need to keep in your life. And it's hard to cut those. It's hard to cut those out. You know, that was hard for me, but I knew I had to do that for me to be healthy.
Absolutely.
Something we talk a lot about with like the students is Proverbs talks about how a sweet friendship refreshes the soul. And so to your point, like if you're walking away feeling drained all the time, that's not a friendship.
Yeah.
A friendship is something that refreshes you, it fills you, it encourages you. And so if you are walking away feeling just like heavy all the time, then that's a project. That's not a relationship. And so I think too, a lot of people get into these situations with friends where they feel like they have to show compassion. And so maybe that person's going through something, maybe that they feel like they can help them. And that's not to say that we don't show kindness, but there is such thing as misguided compassion. And so I think when the misguided compassion, when that takes over to the point where like, it's affecting your health, it's affecting how you're sleeping, how you're processing, and it goes from like helping that person carry their burden to like you are just being crushed. I think that's kind of when you know like, okay, this might just be outside of your scope. And the best thing you can do as a friend is like recommend professional help, recommend that they go to someone, because you can't be, you know, their burden lifter. You can help them, but you can't lift it on your own. And so I've had my fair share of endings. And I think too, just acknowledging that like it wasn't all bad. Like I think sometimes we're really quick to villainize people when things end. And so just acknowledging like the season served its purpose. You know, whatever they did in that season was good for that time, but now it's evolved into something that's no longer serving either of you. And so you can love them from afar, champion them from afar, hope that they get the help that they need from afar, without that like sacrificing your own peace. I don't know. I just don't like when relationships end and then like we're just like it was horrible the whole time and we don't like, I don't know. I just think that can be tough sometimes too.
What does Pastor and Sarah always tell us? Man's rejection is God's protection.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I have held on to that so tightly because it's like if you really think about that, man's rejection is God's protection. So when you think about toxic relationships or when you do have to cut off, it's like this is the Holy Spirit protecting me, guarding my heart, guarding my spirit. And it is hard to let that go, but it's also if we can really stomach the fact that, oh man, the Lord knew, and he's protecting me, and his ways are higher, and he knows. And I've held on to that truth a lot. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not easy. Like to acknowledge if you're saying no to a relationship or saying goodbye, it's hard. It hurts. It's sticky. It's like it's emotional, all these things. So to have grace for yourself, have grace on the other person, because they're probably hopefully processing it in their own way too. And like, I mean, with that same concept of like pruning, like when God removes something, it hurts. Like, of course it's going to hurt that branch, but it's so that it can grow. It's so that it can grow so much healthier. And it can be, what's that? How does scripture talk about it? Like it's so that branch can bear fruit and be healthy for the whole tree. And
it's so good.
and two, like to see that relationship, is it toxic? Well, what kind of fruit is it bringing to your life?
Yeah.
Or
Look
what
at
kind
the fruit of it.
Yeah, like what's it bringing to your other relationships or
Good fruit and bad fruit.
Yeah.
It's good.
Examining the fruit. Is it bitter fruit?
Yeah.
You know, is it sweet fruit? Is it?
It's good.
What are the other adjectives of fruit?
I was going to go and I just decided not to.
In Bible class, we used to say,
Rachel.
we're not judging, we're fruit inspecting. Like, oh, such a nerd. I'm fruit inspecting.
What was your high
That's
school
it's a little nerdy.
award? So what was it called?
The fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah. Was that your reward?
So when I went to college, they were like, wait, you were the Holy Spirit queen?
Wait.
They have since gotten rid of that at the school.
The Holy Spirit Queen.
The Holy Spirit
You know,
They still had Spirit Corps.
No more.
Okay, all right.
Sorry. I love it. I think that's so cool.
Good
And
fruit,
funny.
bad fruit. I love it.
Good fruit, bad fruit. We'll just stick with bitter and sweet.
I like it. Just keeping it
Yeah.
simple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Simple.
I got the Esther Award.
I couldn't remember what award you got.
So
yeah.
like leader.
Yeah.
Brave.
Yeah, 'cause I stuck up for my friends. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. See? Rachel and I went to the same school, so
I love it.
Love it.
Spirit
You're-
queen.
yours apart,
You
though.
know, Esther. What'd you guys get?
yeah.
I won.
Aaron, yeah, you
Yeah.
ran the school.
My school was really similar to yours. Well, my high school was. I won most spiritual. So I
Of
can't
course
really.
you did.
You know, there was like a guy and a girl for each award. And looking back, it was a really small class. And he is in ministry now, too.
Like, wow.
That's cool.
They were on the money. Anyway, moving on. I know we've touched on this a couple of times. But what role does communication have in building healthy relationships?
So I always come back to communication is key, but I can't say that I'm great at communication. I think my personality type is just I don't want confrontation, and that's been really hard for me to learn. But I feel like as you get older, you just kind of are like, here it is.
Can I do an impression of you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
okay. The trash needs to be taken out. Mom, would you like the trash taken out? Yes. Yes. The sink is full. Mom, would you like
The eyes.
the dishes put
I don't, but at least you're saying something.
Yeah.
I just don't
She's-
ask. I just kind of throw it
She
out there,
just-
like whoever.
She just
can-
like sends her observations like into the universe. She's just like, if someone hears it, maybe.
Oh, wow.
We love our 9. We do. God love her.
But confrontation, that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Hey, but
It's hard.
no, for
Communication.
real.
I'm trying to
bring it back
You don't
around.
want to get
Yeah.
on Sarah's bad side. Like,
No,
and 9s,
no.
we all know. I mean, if you are in that circle and you're her family, oh, you do not.
Cut to the death.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
With
I
a
love
knife.
that about you.
It's
Into
that
pieces.
wing 8.
Yeah. I love that.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's
We-
important.
Which I'm like, I feel like you communicate so good in like hard things, you know?
I think I can with you guys, but I'm comfortable and I feel, like it's well received. I think it's difficult to confront or to hit something head on when you're not sure about the other person or how they're going to handle that or, what reaction are they going to have. But I feel like you guys, we have so much respect for each other that I think we can just say what we're thinking and what we're feeling
And trust where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Even if it's hard to receive, trust like, okay, wow, she really loves me.
yeah.
One of my very first memories of a conversation with you, I think I've said
You
told this to
haven't.
you
I don't
before.
remember saying
I
this or
remember where we
even
were sitting.
why
I remember it was summertime, and it was because I think I was just on staff, maybe. So maybe it wasn't summertime, but I had been asking. I'd been asking other people about Savannah. Like, I don't even know what it was about. And you had just, hey, do you have some time? Let's just talk. It was in the old sanctuary before we had built the new sanctuary. And I thought it was like a little heart-to-heart powwow. I'm like so pumped about it. But leaving it, but I realized, wow, in love, you corrected and said, basically, hey, if you really care enough about the person you're asking about, and your heart's in the right place, then just go and ask them directly. Versus ask everyone else. It was maybe like, who's she dating? Or I don't even remember what it was. But I just remember, I will never
Question
forget
everyone
that.
wanted to know.
I just remember, like, you loved me enough to say, number 1, you're gossiping, cut it out. Number 2, it's about my daughter, cut it out, basically. But you said it in love. And now, like, it's helped me put a filter on, okay, why do I care? Do I care for the right reason? Am I really concerned about that person? Okay, and if the answer is yes, then I'll go directly to them. And if I really don't care, then keep your nose out of it, Erin. Like, truly. But you helped. You communicated to me.
Yeah, you did. You
with
do
some
really good at that.
confrontation, And it was received. And you did it gently and softly.
I don't remember that, but
Thanks for looking out for me, Mom.
No,
don't
it's
mess with my
true.
kids and don't mess with my friends.
Good.
And now to
Yeah.
think you know a lot about my life more than most people. So it worked out in the end.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to hear your take on that question.
Communication.
Yeah.
I am a big proponent for communication. My friend Hallie can probably tell you I talk too much. We are always talking about the good, the bad, the ugly. But surprisingly, I think like my friendship with her specifically has made me okay with like hard conversations. I think before in like previous relationships, hard conversations turned into like huge, I mean like blow up kind of fights. And I just like, I don't know. I'm kind of like her in that way. I don't really like confrontation. I don't like drama. I'm just not really that way. And so I'll never forget one time Hallie and I we were in a disagreement that was no fault of either of ours at all. And we didn't realize that at the time. There were some pot stirrers in the mix. And I stopped talking to her. I wouldn't even look at her when I would walk by her. And she was kind of like doing the same thing to me a little bit. And then finally she was just like, we're going to go talk about this.
Wow.
She's like, we're going out to dinner and we're going to talk about this. And then we ate Thai food and we realized that there was nothing at all to what was going on. And we've not had a disagreement like that since. And I really credit that to just addressing things as soon as they bother us. Or saying like, well, I didn't like how you said that. And it's like, oh, well, I didn't mean it like that. Sorry. Like just being so quick to apologize and being so quick to address things instead of letting them fester. I think that's been, because I'm an overthinker. I'm going to draw the worst conclusion possible very, very quickly. And so I think just having such an open relationship where we can just address things instantly has been really important for our health specifically. But that's what I would say probably about communication for sure.
That's good. But did you notice you said two things? You ate Thai food, and most of the time, disagreements can be resolved if you do two things. You go eat and you take a nap.
Take a nap.
And actually, there's like a passage in scripture, I believe it's Elisha, and that's what he did. And like the Lord said, he rested and ate. And I'm like, we laugh when we say that, but it's like, how true
I mean, a
is it?
toddler, you know when they're not okay, it's probably they're hungry or they're tired.
Yeah.
Like,
And we're just
we're
all big
toddlers.
toddlers.
basically.
We are big toddlers.
We are big toddlers.
Yeah.
How have you guys maybe handled conflicts or disagreements within your group specifically?
I'm already uncomfortable. Even just the word conflict.
I'm trying to even think of anything that's ever really.
It's usually me like being really loud and annoying.
Guys,
and,
what's wrong, guys?
They
Guys.
have to, like,
Yeah.
be like, Rachel,
Sarah,
can you please shut up?
But a few times you have like, okay, is everyone okay? Like you kind of,
Bring everybody back around again.
like get everyone talking. How are we really feeling? How's it really going?
Yeah.
Or I'll say, I appreciated your answers, but none of you were truthful.
Yeah.
What I say the other day when we got together, I said,
We actually just
It's a bunch
had.
of fluff.
I
ahead.
appreciate your answers, and but everybody fluffed it.
So what's really going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I so appreciated that because there was no part of that conversation where like we left feeling like we were being corrected or like it was just truly
No, it's because
like you were just
I
being like
care. I
our
care.
big sister and just being like, hey, I gotta know the honest answers, you know, not what I'm supposed to hear.
Right.
And then I feel like that goes back to communication. Yeah. And we can't be afraid to address things head on. So I valued that a lot. I think that's been one.
Yeah,
You know?
because you showed us it's a safe place. This is a safe place to be honest. Because some friendships, which I guess should be really more acquaintanceships, is that a word?
Acquaintanceships.
Acquaintance.
You know, but some friendships you can't be honest because you're gonna crush the person, or they'll get super emotional, or you'll get super emotional. And so you showed us, hey, this is a safe place. Be yourself. And you called it out in us when we weren't being ourselves or didn't feel like we were allowed to be. Allowed is the wrong word. That it was the right time and the right place to really say how you were feeling.
And to be in person.
Yeah.
Because when I first had asked you guys about your feelings on some things, it was through text. And then when you guys sent your individual answers back, I'm like, this is not cutting it. Like,
And what did you do?
we're getting together.
You said, we're going to go eat food.
Yeah.
And we all had a nice nap.
It was great.
And pizza. So there we go. Resolved.
Did you take a nap that day?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
A funny thing that my sister Lauren's best friend does is when she doesn't like how you're communicating something or if she feels like your vibe is off, she'll just go, ew, ew. And that's like a quick, and she'll be like, what's wrong with you? Ew.
Just calling you
And
out.
it's just funny. Like, it's a really funny way that she does it, but it kind of catches me off guard. Like, ew, I'm being ew. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm being ew? And then like, we just are able to like work it right out then. So I don't know if you're someone that's maybe uncomfortable with conflict and you're like, I don't want to like sit down and have a hard conversation. If you feel like the vibe is off, just say ew.
Just
say
say it.
ew.
That's good.
Ew.
And that shows she
Ew.
knows you well
Ew.
enough that it was
Yeah.
ew. Like,
Yeah.
It's good. We're going to start doing that now,
Ew.
guys.
Ew.
Doing it.
Ew.
Even like text, if I send a text with she doesn't like when I use periods, like in texts.
Ooh, that
They
is
don't,
harsh.
They don't like when they want.
do that.
Apparently, people don't like proper punctuation.
It does. You guys said that about some text that I sent. The
No,
other
no,
day.
you did. You used to. It would be like such and such period. And I'm like,
you,
what?
period.
She hates us.
It's proper
like-
grammar.
She's like,
But it's
ew.
texting.
She's like, stop using periods. Ew. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'll just have a run-on sentence that's like a million years long. Anyway,
Or if someone likes, I guess
Oh,
this is an iPhone thing, likes versus hearts it.
you know how I feel about
I
that.
can't handle a thumbs up.
No.
But okay, hold on.
gosh,
Then
I've
I
done that,
definitely
guys.
have
I'm
offended
sorry.
all of y'all because sometimes it's just informational. Like, got it, moving on. Sometimes it's like, oh wow, I want to hug that comment. That's a heart. But then sometimes if it's like in these group chats of 13 plus people and everyone's just liking,
Why are there?
stuff,
Why?
Sarah is very
don't
passionate
even-
all
about
getting
this.
notifications. We get it. You read it. Move
If
on.
you've got 13 people in
Oh.
a text thread, make it a group me.
yeah,
Make it a group
Really
me.
needs to switch this for Sarah.
that's good. Yeah.
Man, she's
then,
she's
okay,
putting it all out there
So
for
let's say
you
there's 13
today.
people.
I'm putting it all out there for Rachel because
Or
I've
just-
brought this up
just
how many
at the
times.
bottom, just say,
I'm not the offender, by the way.
Rachel,
okay?
don't
I'm
add
just
message.
allowing the sins.
the sense. But if everyone, 13 people in the group chat and 11 people have hearted it, then if you don't heart it, it's like, well,
Oh yeah.
maybe she doesn't love it. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to
I
stop
will put
annoying
a note at the
everyone.
bottom that says, do not like or respond to this message.
There you go.
Oh, smart. Or you can just
No.
be like me and leave
No.
voice memos.
No.
Those are long.
No.
And nice.
No, this particular
My
text
fa-
thread that I'm talking about, we've actually brought that up in the text thread. Like, there's so many people in this text. Stop liking everything because I'm getting dinged like too many times, and they don't listen.
Oh.
They still
All
do
right,
it.
I'm changing it today.
And then I'm like ding,
changing it
ding,
today.
ding, ding, and I'm like mute.
Oh,
Like that's what I like about Group Me too is that you can mute
You're
it.
right. You're
But
right.
then everyone, you can mute iPhone. You
Wow.
can mute the group chat.
I
Aaron just sent me this whole new thing that's happening on the iPhone.
so much is
but
happening
but
with
the
the
Group
update.
Me you can mute for like an hour.
True. It's true.
If I mute something on iPhone, I'm gonna forget that I did it.
For all you listeners out there, we have lots of group text messages at the church.
Too many.
This is what we're talking about.
Someone
And I'm
literally
not even
told
in
me,
most of 'em.
They were like, they did our summer intern program last year, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I've never been in as many group chats as I
their
was when I
names.
was at Seven Hills.
And the names.
The names.
It's something that's like, man, I want to be in the group chats. And then you're in them, you're like, I don't want to be in them
Ooh.
anymore. I don't want to
It's
be in them.
It's too much.
And
It's
so
too
many-
much.
It's also a
It's the
Gen
same
Z
people.
thing. They get really overwhelmed by group chats, like
Really?
they don't like all the activity, and so they just go like mute. It's
so
something
that's a
I noticed.
millennial thing too.
Group chats are apparently
Just suck.
I don't know.
But I'm
Most-
aren't I an X?
I think so.
Oh, I don't like them either.
So, do you guys believe
Accents.
in the concept? Okay. Do you guys believe in the concept of having a best friend? Why or why not?
I mean, is that a thing? Is that
Like a best friend? Like, do you just have one that you're closest to? Or do you feel like you just have friends for different things?
I have so many questions. Is this like a label? Is this something that you tell someone? Is this just
Like-
for yourself?
Aaron's definitely the question asker.
Do you believe, like, do you think that there is such thing as a best friend? Like, just one person that you're closest to?
Not for me. I have never had a best friend.
Do you say that? And that felt really sad.
Man, I just
when you
like,
said
I
it that
want to
way.
cry.
I have never had a best friend.
I've never had one of
you
those.
experience that, like-
are
my
forever.
That felt appropriate
Like
there.
even that song is sad. Like just
Oh, it is.
hearing it is sad.
It is sad.
Rachel, do you have a best
Like
friend?
the tone of the like.
Oh,
the
I
melody
feel like
of
I
the song.
have
It's hard
best
to
friends.
let you go.
There's like layers.
Yeah.
I feel like I
Yeah,
have layers.
layers is a good word.
I have best friends for sure.
Hey, in that song though, why are they letting people go?
Toxic relationships.
Rachel, talk about your layers.
oh,
Layers.
yes. layers of
Layers.
friendship.
Layers. Okay. I feel like there's there's like there's layers for sure. I have like my best. What is that?
I don't like it. Whatever it is.
Come on, you guys know what I'm
So would you say that you have a best friend?
Best friends. Like I feel like
Friends.
Duh.
like
One.
the group text with that.
Oh,
That is literally what I'm talking about.
Oh,
The group
like
message.
she's talking about the emoji.
We have an emoji group.
and you're saying like there are some
They're my best
that's like,
friends. And then there's another tier, and another tier.
Okay,
And
layers.
another text thread and another text thread.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So layers,
But a best
but
friend.
best friends.
Like, just
one
one.
friend.
Do you have one friend that you feel like you're closest
One
to?
friend.
Yeah. Is that weird to be like in different seasons for different things?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
You're also the most outgoing of the four of us by far. That matters too. Do you guys think like
Yeah.
that? But okay, this might be a weird answer. I do find it a little challenging. Well, okay, I don't want to.
Aaron has never told anyone that you're, and whenever I say I love you, you never say I love you back.
Listen.
Like I'm like,
that's a
bye,
whole-
love you.
I have started saying it. You guys, hold on. Let
You
me,
say bye, I love you?
I tell you that on the phone. Bye, I love
Do I
you.
say it back?
Nope. No one's telling their loving me.
I love you guys.
Okay, I love you guys is fine, but like,
I love you.
I love you.
Rachel. Goodbye.
Bye.
No, love you too. Love you too.
Love you guys. Love you.
I don't know how you've like
I think
been
I did
okay
just
to
send. I did
continue.
respond to that.
Because like I would
think
have
recently
like
to Sam, I was
overthought
like,
that
love you,
for
Sam.
like nights
You said
upon
that?
nights.
I think I did. I think it was
Yeah.
like a heart. It was like
I always end calls
I
with
think.
"Love ya,
Just love.
bye,
I don't like that at all.
love ya,
No.
bye."
love ya.
No.
That feels very unreal,
Thank you.
fake. Why even say
Yeah.
it? No.
Love ya.
How do you say? How do you say?
Have
it
you
to
guys
your
never?
husband?
Have you
How
guys
did
never
you tell your husband
seen?
you love that?
I love you.
Have you
I love
ever
you.
seen the Emma
YOU.
Chamberlain and Jack Harlow red carpet moment where she says that they've never
No.
met and they're kind of like having this conversation and he just goes "love ya" and she goes "love ya, bye," and it's like this very awkward encounter and she like looks at the camera like, "Oh my gosh, Jack Harlow just
Must
said I
be a
love
Gen
you."
Z thing.
It was a very funny trend, and so I have adopted that. And so now, whenever it's like I love
so
you
it's like
feels
a
really
little
serious,
joke, like
But
a
maybe
joke.
you should contain that to people who know what that is, because otherwise it sounds offensive. I hate it when you do that to me.
Oh no.
What do you tell your husband?
The truth is coming out.
love
like,
ya, bye,
Bye, love ya.
I don't
I
live
love you.
with you. I haven't been married to you for a lot of years. Like,
You don't live with me either.
but you're my daughter. And
Oh,
so
I
I say I love you, but I don't say to Rachel, I love you.
Well, I say like I love you too, and you're being like that. But when it's just like a quick like we're ending the phone call, love ya, bye.
No, but for real,
No.
you were telling something that
Good
was
to know.
actually
Good.
important. Can you finish that thought?
Okay, so you said, what did you say? Do you believe in a best friend? Do you believe in
Yeah. Do you believe in
something?
having the concept of a best friend?
So
Why
to
or
me,
not?
a best friend is like your ride or die, no matter what. And for me, my decision of that is my husband.
Jake fills that
he,
for
he
you.
definitely does.
Yeah.
But and we've had a conversation like, at least in our marriage, we feel like that's our role for each other. And if I feel like he's not cutting it, I'm gonna let him know. Like, listen, I don't feel like you're my friend right now. I don't feel like you want to hang out with me. Yeah, I've been emotional and I probably need to eat and I need a nap, but can we go on a date?
And I will say this too, being in ministry, like
Yeah.
it is unique and very different.
Yeah.
And we are all so blessed, truly,
Yeah.
with unbelievable husbands that also are our best friends.
That's
and
true,
like that
for
is
sure.
amazing.
That's
and
true.
a gift.
Maybe I do like not realize how rare that is. Maybe.
Yeah.
So a best friend. I really like your layer thing. That makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense.
Yes.
In like different seasons or different areas of my life. Like you're not a runner, so I'm not gonna ask you, hey Rachel,
Me-
how can I run? How can I do better? Like help me with this.
Rachel, come run with me.
Yeah.
Can you guys tell, like in the
Rachel!
friend group, they're kind of like I'm this
Rachel,
like
catch
little.
up. You're supposed to be
I don't
running
even
with
know.
me.
You know
like,
what? You can be
I'm just
friends.
gonna go hang out with Hallie and Savannah.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, no kidding.
to swim nights.
Listen, my husband is gone 2 nights a week building the youth and college
Makes sense.
ministry.
Makes
I'm
sense.
alone. I
Yeah.
spend one of those nights with my parents.
Okay.
Oh, love ya. Bye,
ya.
she
Like,
says.
you are
Love
not,
ya.
you are not alone.
She cooks me dinner.
Yes.
It's a great time, but I don't. They watch
a
my
great
son
time.
all day Tuesday, so I'm trying to give them their night together
Yeah.
on Tuesday, and so
Well, the problem, yeah. Is that I'm with Gio all day, and then your dad's like, I miss Gio. I'm going to go over there.
yeah. So anyway,
Gio's your best friend. There you go.
Gio is my
He's
best
so
friend.
I would say
sweet.
Marcus is my best friend. I've never had a female best friend. And I know I just said my best friend from high school.
In high school, she maybe felt like your best
You weren't
friend.
married yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Or not. Yeah.
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 I will say this though, and I think Heart Sisters brought this up too. Is
That
it's
study.
like there is something to be said about female,
Oh, sure.
like, friendship.
There's
Yeah, for
certain
sure.
ways that I think like women could speak to you that, you know what I mean? Just ways that they understand.
Yeah.
I think that's unique, of course, but I agree with you in the sense that like, I don't think your best friend should ever take
Yeah.
priority or place
Yeah.
over your spouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke is definitely the only person I can like spend extended amounts of time with.
That's
And
a
that's how I
good-
know he's my best
Yeah.
friend.
That's a good
Like,
one.
oh, I'm never really too agitated with you. And even when I am, I'll like go upstairs for a second. I'm like, oh, I missed you again. I'm gonna go back. I just went upstairs to change. That's it.
I love it.
What about like friends and like values? Do you guys think that your friends should share the same beliefs as you, or do you think it's okay to maybe disagree on some of those things?
That's a good question. That's a layer. Layers applies to that a little bit.
For sure.
I mean, I think it's definitely more easy if you share the same values or the same likes or the same interests. I have relationships with people that do not believe like I do, but I would say those relationships are probably with younger people that I'm still just kind of trying to keep close to bring them in or just let them know I accept you for where you are. I'm going to love you. Probably because I've been through something with that person.
Yeah.
But I would say on a peer level, I think it's important to not. I think you could even say not be unequally yoked. I don't think
Yeah,
that just has to. That's not just about marriage. I think that's about a lot of things in our lives that they should align. They should be unified and together.
That's good. And I do feel like that's why we are also close on this team, because it's this unifier that brings us all together, of we're all like our value system.
Yeah.
We're building this church together,
true.
and so I do think that element, it's huge. So huge.
Yeah, I definitely think it goes to the layers thing because you can only go so deep with someone before you hit that maybe disagreement or differing opinion, and then that's a separator. You know, it's like, oh, we can talk about everything but that. We can, go to all these things together except for that. And so I definitely think like, okay, fine, have them in your circle, but maybe not your inner circle.
That's good.
Yeah,
And that's what Jesus had. He walked with 12 for,
That's good.
he
had
3
layers.
years.
Yeah.
He did.
12 and
he
then
had
3.
12 and
He had 12 best friends, right? But then it got smaller and smaller, and then it was like the 3, So there we
a
go.
really good
Jesus
point.
tells us how to do it.
Yeah.
What advice would you guys maybe give to someone who's struggling to find their inner circle of friends?
Gosh, it's a real place that I think we've all been in. You're struggling to find maybe just ask yourself, like, is it because you just got rid of a bunch of toxicity? If so, good job. Like, you will be better for it, even if it feels a little lonely right now.
That's good.
Just thinking about myself, like, what have I told myself sometimes? Like, don't lose who you are to fit into a circle that you think you belong in.
Yeah.
The circle that you belong in, you will bring value to, and sometimes that takes time to find or for others to appreciate that about you. And patience comes to mind. I mean, all of these things, like we want it to be so quick and overnight, but the Lord's best work.
It's not going to be. And I think too, if you maybe just do some self-reflection and just do some work on you, find out who you really are. I think I went through most of my 30s not knowing who I was, and thinking that I had to be like this person, I need to be like that person, or I need to be like that pastor's wife. And I wasted so much time just, if I would have just focused on, just reading books, maybe, just about finding out who am I really? And what do I have to offer somebody else? And what are my giftings? What are my strengths? And I think if you know that about yourself, you're gonna find your like people.
It's good.
Yeah. I think something that like I tell like the students, just kind of like you were saying, like if you just got rid of a bunch of toxic people, like attracts like. So if you know, were in a season where you were surrounded by a bunch of toxic people, you know, that's ultimately what you were going to attract. But now that you've kind of shed that skin, you know, you got to be okay with just a season of like tilling the soil almost.
That's good.
And so just know, like, okay, when you're healthy, you're going to attract healthy. And then 2, be the friend that you need. So if you're looking for a friend to go out to coffee with, be the one that asks to go out to coffee. If you're wishing that someone would drop off something on your porch, you know, be the one that drops off something on someone else's porch. And then lastly, my 3 closest friends came after I did the 21 days of prayer and fasting. I just lost a lot of friends. I was really lonely. And I just like asked God for like healthy friendships, and they literally came that fall.
That's cool.
And all in very unexpected ways. If I were to tell you how each 3 of those relationships began or resurfaced, you'd be like, that's the most random, like how in the world did that even happen? But I really believe it was because like I prayed and I asked God, you know, to like prep my heart, keep my mind open, keep my eyes open. And so it's okay to be lonely, and it's okay to just know that it's for a season.
Yeah.
So anyway, that'd be what I would say.
It's almost like you made room.
Yeah.
You had to clear out
That's
some space and to allow new and fresh to come in, kind of like what you're talking about, like the fruit. I think you new and fresh and probably what you need friendships can't come in until you clean house a little bit and sift through relationships that maybe just shouldn't be there anymore.
So good.
And like, you don't have to overthink it. Like, maybe there's a mom that she's just really kind. Like, when you see her, you're like, oh, she's at the park today. Nice. Like, maybe that's a friendship to just kind of dive into a little bit. Or
That's good.
you don't have to overthink. Like, could I spend 3 hours with her in an uncomfortable position? No, just it's okay. Make it simple. God does His best work slowly and simply with peace. Like,
That's good.
So good.
you just gotta wait
And as a mom, you've got maybe 45 minutes tops.
Yep.
You know,
on a good day.
on a good
Yeah.
day. Coordinating nap schedules and
Yeah,
I get it for sure.
that's good.
You ready to close us out?
Ready to close this out. We want to thank you for joining us today, for tuning in, and I hope that you got something out of today. We just kind of opened ourselves up and just kind of spoke from the heart and just shot straight a little bit. But join us next time and make sure you subscribe.